everybody. Alan Barnoski here with a lesson for Acoustic Guitar Magazine. Today we're looking at the song Little Darlin' Pal of Mine. This comes from the Carter family, but it's recorded by many folks over the years. Really well-known traditional folk song. What we're doing today is looking at the melody and the chords for this song and ways that you can combine them together to create an arrangement, a flat-picked arrangement on the guitar. So there's a couple things that you'll want to do before we get started. One is you should find some of those recordings. If you don't know this song already, find some of those recordings and just get familiar with it, because that's really going to help as you're trying to learn how to play this melody. Seems obvious, but it's a step that many of us skip sometimes. The other thing you'll want to do is find the write-up and the transcription for this in acoustic guitar, if you don't have it already. So acousticguitar.com, you should be able to find it there for free. You could also get a print copy if you like. So with that, let's get started. Melody for this song, we're going to be playing in the key of G, open position, so no capo. This is example 1 in acoustic guitar. Here we go. Okay, there it is. That's example 1. And also with example 1 are the chords. So you'll see those written above the notation. I'm going to go ahead and play through those in open position using a boom chuck pattern. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that gives us the melody and the chords to the song. The rest of these examples, we'll be looking at ways about how you can combine those things together. So the first one, example 2, shows the melody fully intact with some chord strums underneath that melody. I'll play through this, you'll see what I mean. Here we go. Okay, so I've got that melody line and then also some strums here, but they're partial chords. I'm not using the full chords. Instead, I'm using partial chords. The reason for that is I want the melody line to be the highest note that you hear. Right, and then I'm just adding in a few harmony notes just to give some context. I don't want to overwhelm that melody. I don't want to be banging out big strums. That's not really the purpose. The purpose is just to give some more context, give some color, make it just kind of pop a little bit more. So there's a couple technical things here. One is that I'm playing everything with downstrokes. We'll get to some upstrokes in example 4, but for now, everything's downstrokes. And then I'm also using what's called a rest stroke. So that means I play the string, and then my pick lands on the string above it. So if I'm playing the G string here, my pick lands on the B string. This is going to be really important when doing the strums. Hopefully you can see that in the right hand. Kind of what I'm doing here. It's like I'm pushing through the 4th string and then the 3rd string and then the 2nd string, and then it lands, right? Or rests. It's called a rest stroke. What that's going to do is 2 things. It'll make sure you play all the strings. You know, if you're just kind of strumming in the air, you might miss one. But also it's going to make that top string, the melody note, really kind of stand out. So what I'm going to do is play through all of example 2 again and just kind of watch for this. so I'm using rest strokes on those strums. I use some rest strokes on the melody, but that's less of a requirement. I think it's really important though to use rest strokes when you're doing those little partial strums. Okay, so that's example 3. I'm sorry, that's example 2. Now we'll look at example 3. With this one, if the left hand is very similar, but in the right hand, instead of doing strums, we're going to be picking out individual strings. So kind of like rolling through these chords instead of strumming through them. Here we go. You'll see what I mean. So if you just look at the tab, it looks like just a long string of notes. It kind of looks a little bit chaotic, but when you hear it, I think you can hear what's going on. There's the melody, and then there's a break in the melody where I'm kind of rolling through the chord tones using an arpeggio. And then there's a melody again, and then again in the break in the melody, I'm rolling through that chord. So again, all downstrokes here. I like to make that melody sound a little bit louder. I like to make the chord arpeggios, the picking patterns through the chords, I like to make those a little bit softer. So I'll play through a few measures just so you see what I mean. All right, so that's the idea here. Again, everything's downstrokes. Now let's move on to example 4. This gets into like traditionally what we think of as cross-picking. So in the previous example, it kind of was cross-picking, but we were all using downstrokes. Here in example 4, we're mixing in a down and upstroke pattern. I'll play it, you'll be able to hear this. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, so this uses more of like what we typically think of as cross-picking. Downs and ups over a 3-string pattern. This is pretty complicated. If you're not used to cross-picking, this can be a lot. So maybe take this one slow, look at the pick directions that are in the tab so you can follow that if this is a new approach for you. But the concept is still the same. We've got melody. In the break of the melody, we've got a kind of like a roll pattern playing through that chord. The last step is kind of bringing all of these things together. So in the intro, I played through the tune using a mixture of strums, of downstroke picking, and of a little bit of cross picking too. So the idea is that you can, when you get comfortable with all these, pull from each one. Maybe melody just by itself, maybe a few strums, maybe some cross picking, and you can pull all of this together and create your own arrangement. You can do this with other songs too. So learn the melody, learn the chords. Now you've got what you need to start to piece this together. It's not as simple as it might sound like I'm making it, but with some practice, it can come together pretty well. So good luck with this. Would love to hear from you if you have any questions. And that's it. So I'll see you next time.